Welcome back everyone to another episode of the Multipliers Club. Today we're joined by another very special guest, Danny Allen Page. It's going to be a great episode. We're going to go into his personal brand, how he's built a 7-figure marketing agency, how he's come over fears to get around posting videos of himself on social media and growing the platform he has today. So enjoy the episode and please subscribe and follow on whatever platform you're listening to.
How you got into what you're doing now? Where you started off, you had a football career as well, I believe.
Very short-lived.
Yeah?
No.
Injury?
No, it weren't, to be fair.
No?
That's what normally people pull out. I got injured.
You should tell people that.
It wasn't good enough. That's the truth. That's
Really?
the truth. Yeah, it
Who
wasn't
was you
good
playing for before?
enough. Brentford. So done school to Palace. Palace got bombed at like YTS stage. You know what that is? Like scholarship stage. When you go into like train full time. So when you finish school, you get a scholarship. And scholarships like you become a footballer basically. You're there every single day.
You're learning at the same time as doing that.
Yeah, but it's a mockery.
Yeah,
the learning is a
literally
joke.
just-
It's like one day it's like nursery. It's a joke.
Bang straight on the field.
Yeah, you don't want to be. So you're literally there like one day, like half a day on a Wednesday. You go and try and learn. I think it was leisure and tourism. Like they try and give you just like whatever.
It's a good
course.
industry, that is, actually.
You know anyone? Yeah. But yeah, YTS. I got bombed at Palace, and then our coach actually moved as well. They done a massive shift, and he went to Brentford. So all of the youth team that was at Palace, because that was a higher category youth team, they all went to Brentford and we all got scholarships. So when I left school, I was just playing football every day for Brentford.
Living the dream.
Nice.
Yeah, it's good.
Did you ever play with any Premier League players today? You were coming up?
Nah, you got to remember, I'm 40 next month. So no one that you probably know of. J-Tab, there was a few lads that went on. Stephen Hunt, do you remember Stephen Hunt that smashed Czech with the... He smashed.
Oh,
Czech
yeah.
with his head?
Okay, yeah, I do.
Hunt, yeah, but yeah, Brentford those days they weren't in. There was nowhere near the Prem. They was like League Two, so they was right down there. So yeah, I went scholarship and then I got a pro contract for a couple of years, and yeah, basically they had a shift, got rid of the manager, and then ultimately just got rid of all the reserve team because they had to save budget to try and reinvest. Obviously a good decision because now they're in the Premiership. But I remember like transfer deadline brought us into the office. He's like, Martin Allen, it was the manager. He's like, I've got no plans for you, mate. Got to go. I was like, you got to make a decision now. Like, I was like, what? Like tears and tearing up and that. He's like, yeah, you've got to train with youth team to the end of the season and then let you go. Or you can go conference and play for Farnborough. I'm going to need to know now. And I was like, right, shit. And then he's like, I'll pay you out but your contract. So I was like, I'll just go. But I never really thought I was good enough anyway to make it.
Did you? Was that like a setback for you? Were you in your head like thinking like, this is what I want to do, this is my career, this is all I know?
Nah, I never ever believed I was good enough to be a professional footballer.
Do you think that's part of the reason why you never become a professional footballer?
Very possibly, yeah. Very lack of belief, lack of confidence.
Yeah.
But I knew I knew I was determined enough to. Like, I just used to rely on working hard and determination. That was my go-to. I'd outrun anyone, tackle. Like I'd run through a brick wall. Yeah. That's what got me that far. I didn't actually have the belief in anything else at that point. So
you didn't
naturally,
have
I ain't
then,
gonna.
yeah.
I actually bottled it when I had one opportunity to play at home at Brentford. I always tell this story, and the captain, Dobbo, he was a right back, so I never ever got a chance. This guy was like Mr. Fantastic. He'd never get injured, like. So I was just always waiting just for an opportunity, and then he got injured one game in a warm up at home, packed stadium, and the manager was like, "Come, Dan, can you play?" And I bottled it.
No way.
Yeah, shit my pants. Pretended I had like a little bit of a niggle. I never got an opportunity again. I think I come on in one cup game, like shit game. So just overcome with fear, just literally to the point where, and you think you've play all your life
for that
moment, and you bottle it. Like, so it's been the biggest regret, but the best lesson.
Yeah.
For how to embrace fear.
Sure.
And what fear is. Because not saying I would have gone on to become an amazing footballer, but who knows?
That would have got you over fear.
How old were you when you were playing for Brentford and this situation happened?
So YTS, it starts at 16. So I reckon I must have been about 20.
Well, okay.
19, 20.
I guess you're still so young at 20. You probably don't have the same willpower in terms of like, not so much determination, but in terms of overcoming fear. Like if you're in similar situations now, which I'm sure you are in business, you probably attack things very differently now, right?
Yeah, I think. What do I think about that situation? I think I just bowled it. Like I just bowled it. I already lack confidence in my ability, and I lack belief. No matter what anyone else told me, there was no one else telling me I was shit. I just had this thing in my head. Nothing was ever good enough. So my relationship with fear back then versus what it is now is completely different. So yeah, but that's no excuse. If you're training every day for most of your life to achieve something, you don't fucking not turn up on when that moment presents itself.
No one teaches you that though. You don't get taught that kind of stuff. Like you have to learn and teach yourself because that happened to you previously. Like now when that happens,
zero chance.
Because it's completely changed the way your
that's why I'm grateful for it. I'm grateful for it. I'm grateful for that lesson. It's the best lesson ever.
Do you think about that time when you make decisions sometimes?
I don't. I think it's more like a muscle because I get fear. I'm quite a. People wouldn't think this, but I'm quite a shy person. I'm quite a reserved person.
You're an introvert.
I'm definitely an introvert.
Yeah.
I question myself. I doubt myself constantly. So the things that I've accomplished, I'm proud of because I know the internal struggles that I go through to show up how I show up. So my relationship with fear now is more about it's an opportunity to grow. It's just always an opportunity to grow. So if I get really afraid about something like getting on camera like this, I wouldn't be able to do this like 4 years ago. I would have literally been sweating so bad. You would see my arse through these trousers. Honestly, lads, it would be uncomfortable.
You wouldn't have turned up and said, I've got a knee injury.
Yeah.
Can't get there.
Got a niggle gaffer. Can't make it.
That's literally why we obviously wanted to start one of the reasons we started the podcast is just stepping outside of the comfort zone. Obviously, we all knew we wanted to, it's important to start getting our faces behind the brands, behind the business, build a personal brand, etc., etc.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're quite lucky. There's 4 of us all in the same sort of similar position.
Yeah.
So that's why we did it together because we thought, well, it was still nerve-wracking, innit? Like,
and just on that as well, like I can relate to what you were just talking about. So when we decided to launch the podcast, I think 2 days before we were going to shoot the first episode, sent a 5-minute voice note.
Yeah,
to
you
these
did,
lads.
didn't it? Yeah, I remember.
And I was like, boys, I don't think I'm good enough to do this podcast. I'm not successful enough in business yet. I don't know if I've got the knowledge or the
Who's going to
skill.
listen to us?
Yeah.
But this is where it's important to have good people around you, man, because each and every one of these boys individually told me why I should do it.
I don't think any of us wanted to do it. I don't think any of us physically wanted to do it. You liked the idea of it originally.
Yeah.
You were the instigator. Yeah. None of us wanted to get in front of the camera. None of us wanted to talk because, like we're still growing. We're still, in our eyes, we're still very low level. So we're trying to achieve stuff. So thinking like, who's going to listen to us? But we're all in the same boat. So how many other people out there are in the same boat as us as well?
What is the reason you wanted to do it? Other than like, because you say like getting on camera and start building, but why is that important?
I think it's important, especially for all of us, but especially in my opinion for me and Luke running a marketing agency where personal brand is everything. As you know, your personal brand godfather basically with your marketing agency. And because we were so busy running our clients' brands, we just neglected the fuck out of our own for the first 2 years. It's only been very recently. We've been doing stuff like podcast interviews. So that's the main reason. I think individually for these boys, it's very similar as well.
Yeah, same. It's all just business. It's business growth. It's evolution. It's the future. Everyone's on social media. Like people are looking at our content. They're not going to our website. They're going they're going to our Instagram. We haven't got a TikTok yet. That's another big thing. And with this, I mean, at the EMC, it was explained with the podcast, you can do the filming session 1 hour, but then you've got content for your Instagram, your TikTok, your Facebook. It just covers all areas. Yeah.
You know what else is sick as well is like it's the network the networking element of it. So like every single week we're sitting down with sick entrepreneurs like yourself who have experienced and had higher levels of success than we have, and that's the type of people I want to be fucking with.
That's what we get.
I think that is one of the best things about doing a podcast is the access, because such an easy footing to have, like to get a conversation started with someone that you might not normally have access to or might think you're going to sell to them or whatever it is. Whereas if you approach it from an interview or podcast point of view, you're always going to get access. I used to do it for clients. I would get a hit list of maybe like I've got a massive list of like big influencers or coaches that I would want to work with. And then I would invite him on my podcast. Yeah, okay, I would like to speak to him, but ultimately, it's a foot. It was a foot in the door. Because I know it's easier than going, how many leads you getting every month?
It was a sales funnel.
It was a sales
funnel. You can ask them on the
and then what I just use it for is coaching on that session. But I literally would use a podcasting session as coaching.
Yeah.
Free coaching for the hour, potentially a new lead. They ask me what I do at the end of it. I tell them and go, and then they go, fucking hell, I need that. And then there's a new client. Yeah. So it's like multiple leverage rather than just like a podcast. I think a lot of that, and this is why I think a lot of people don't start a podcast or cancel it because I can't monetize it or I can't. But if your reason for doing this was to grow as an individual, learn from other entrepreneurs and get free coaching for 2 hours.
And we said the worst
You
thing
fucking
about it,
won.
yeah. That's it.
You won the game.
100%.
That's it.
But it's like, even if we just sat around ourselves talking, because like we were like, we always just meet up and like our friends aren't necessarily interested in this, so like we're talking to them about business and entrepreneurship, and they listen, but they don't really care. And whereas we'll just sit there and talk. So like, why don't we just record it and then see if people find it interesting?
Interesting. It's other people that are like us, and then you just have someone, like with another viewpoint in the conversation. So it's wicked. It's a win-win scenario. Plus, it has helped us grow because we stepped out our comfort zone. Plus, I want to start pushing this is the bit where I'm still, obviously we're doing this, which is good through the podcast page. I want to start pushing the personal brand.
Yeah, massively. Yeah, we all need to start on that. That's why we got you here. We're getting mentored.
I said that literally yesterday. I said I was looking through your Instagram and like the videos are wicked. Yeah. And I thought, mate,
I messaged you on a separate note as well, didn't I? And said I want to ask you questions about your personal branding.
Honestly, what on my WhatsApp?
Yeah, I WhatsApped you the other day, didn't I? I was like, when we're there, I want to talk about this. And you're saying the same thing as well, because that's
let's dive in.
that's
lads,
what you do.
I've got to tell you, right? Like honestly, I cannot begin to tell you. Even like when it came to selling, I was so bad. I can't even express to you how bad I was. I like confidence in myself to like even pick up the phone. I've told this story loads of times, but when I was on the phones. When I begged someone for a year to get me this job, people earning 50, 60, 70k a month, I've got the job and then I'm so afraid to make a sales call that I'm hanging up, pretending to speak to people. I'm hanging up with them. Hey, it's ringing, and they'll ping up, go, hello, and I'm like, you're not interested, okay. 2 days of that, sales manager's gone like, listen, you do that one more time. What are you doing? Like, I can hear every call. I was like, fuck. But I was so bad. And the same goes to the video stuff. Petrified. I paid for camera equipment, maybe like £1,000 worth of camera equipment, sat in my house in the box for about a year, maybe 2 years. Just couldn't face. I couldn't even do a
selfie video.
I've tried it sometimes. I hate it.
But hold on a minute. What are you doing now?
But
what I'm trying to say is like this is a thing about like videos. People put it on a pedestal. The best thing you can do is find your format first. Find a format that you like doing video. So this might be your format first, and you two, might just come up with some topics and do a podcast format and ask each other questions about it and just record it as a separate thing, and then it's easier to then get your short form content because
crop it,
because it's easier just to crop. But that face to camera, what you do is you see Alex Hormozy, you might see my videos, you see all these people's videos, and you compare up, and then you're like, I want to be like him, and you're like, I've done it. I'm not that fucker. Like I'm just not him. So you have to do your version. First thing is like consistency. Format, consistency. That's the only thing you really should be thinking about.
How long have you been working on your personal brand and video side of things?
It started in COVID. So my marketing agency, we used to look after boutique gyms, like F45s, like the expensive gyms.
Yeah.
And we scaled to like 30, 35 gyms. Headache, by the way. Fuck me. No wonder I got no hair. It was tough. It was tough. And COVID hit, all the gyms went. 90% of my clients gone. I was like, fuck, this is long. All right, I've been watching Gary Vee. I've been reading his books, Jab, Jab, Right Hook. What's this personal branding shit about? Like, what is it?
So you picked up those clients without having a personal brand already?
what I had been doing, this is what made sense to me at the time. I like fitness. I like training. I'm going to go into those gyms and train in a session and then tell the owner what I do.
Yeah.
And I got a couple, got a result, got a couple more, got a result. And then I was like, right, it kind of like, it was scaling like this. And then I started like recording like fitness workouts myself. And if you scroll down my feed, I leave them on there. They're funny, man.
Let's go through them later.
I was doing like workout videos and like challenges. I do like 100 burpee challenge and shit like that. And yeah, basically, I scaled it quite quickly. When COVID hit, I was like, let me do the personal branding stuff. But I'd been trying different bits with video. I'd been trying little tiny bits, as in like trying to hire a videographer, but the content was shit. I knew it was going that way, but I didn't know what this personal branding thing was. And then COVID gave me full license and permission to just focus on it. And I found, the days of like carousels. Do you know what carousels are?
Yeah.
My graphic designer was like, Dan, I think you should be doing these. And I was like, these are sick. These are really, really good. So I just hired a graphic designer at the time. And his name's Dane Walker. Don't know if you've seen him. He's got a massive amount of followers now. He's smashing it. He's at like 9,000. He's nearly at like 500,000. And I just done 90 days of post every single day, no matter what, carousels. That was my goal.
What was in the carousels?
Branding, sales, mindset. They were my 3 pillars.
So you had to. So the carousel is more than multiple posts.
Swipe through the post.
Yeah.
So you have a video on each of those.
No. So back then, the things that reels and videos weren't getting any push. They weren't being pushed during COVID.
Right. Okay.
It was reels weren't even a thing.
No, not at all.
It was carousels.
Yeah.
So the fundamental of my brand was built on carousels. I scaled from like 0 to 50K in like those 90 days. I was like, I think got 6 months I got 50K, but 90 days I was flying. So all of a sudden people know who I am, what I do, and then so the concept with a carousel, I still think people should do them, by the way. But ultimately it's 10 slides, and the whole goal of them is to keep people on your profile, on your account. The longer people spend on your account, the more the algorithm sees it as value.
Like you.
Yeah, so if they're sliding through it over 10 times, they spend longer than watching a 20-second reel. So the concept is 10 slides, hook on the first slide, something that has to get their attention, curiosity or intrigue, the next 2. So they're like, what's going to happen next? And then educate for the rest, and then like some sort of call to action. That's the process. So it works really well for like result-based stuff. So how I help this aesthetics company make 10K using this dark art or whatever the fuck you want to say, and then you just educate, and then
Do you film those so they're not picture posts?
They're pictures. They're pictures. But that's how I grew my following.
Okay.
And then at the time I was with the video stuff. It was like summer day, and I had my missus' friend over. She's a presenter. She's do like one extra and all that. Super confident girl, like extremely confident. And we was talking about goals and that. I was like, yeah, I've got this camera kit. And she's like, what? So that's been in your... She's like, get it out now.
You're like... Stuck it on you.
Got bad knee.
Can't get upstairs.
Got this little... Yeah, can't do it, gaffer. And then, like, but the thing is, kids running around, neighbours are mowing the lawn next door in the gardens. I'm like, my worst nightmare, people watching me. She's like, go in the garden, right, I'm going to get it on you, I'm going to bring it out. I want you to introduce who you are, company, da-da-da-da. First time, shocking, sweating, stuttering. Second time, a little bit better. Third time, fine. It's like, okay. Right, tomorrow when I go into work, get off at London Bridge, I'm going to get my phone out and I'm going to record myself, rush hour, from one end to the other in like story mode, like giving value. Not to fucking no one, just on video.
Yeah.
Because I knew at that point, my fear wasn't about getting on camera. My fear is what I thought people thought of me, which is what most of us.
I think that's it,
right? So I was like, all right, if I can do it across London Bridge, I can do it. Bottled it massively. Fucking, I ain't doing this. Next day, done it. Halfway across, I realised no one's even looking at me. No one cares. They're doing their own thing. So then that became a little thing that I was like, okay, that's one of the things that you can do to overcome camera shyness. Like, go now, get your camera out, go to the busiest place you know, and just record yourself giving value. You like making you squirm. But that muscle of fear and uncomfort, you know you now have to do it. In my eyes, if he was my pal and he just done that, but you have to do that by tomorrow. Or you're off the podcast. Not because you don't want him to, but you know,
but you need to just get it done.
Because you've given your word that you want to build your personal brand.
Yeah.
You know, getting on camera is something you're afraid of.
Do it. It's time to start doing some personal accountability.
Yeah.
Lads, like,
I like what you said about the fear thing though, because I actually read a couple of days ago that people's number one biggest fear in a study is, but guess what it is? People's number one biggest fear.
Being on camera.
Public speaking.
Public speaking.
Close.
What?
Public humiliation.
Oh,
so it's like if you're public speaking and you fuck up your words, it's public humiliation, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So I like the whole concept of doing it in front of people to get over the fear. But for people maybe who are really, really scared of getting behind the camera, because maybe I still do get quite scared behind the camera. Like, what can you put in place to overcome that sub-practice, of course?
So, listen, ultimately, the things that help me, I can only talk about what helped me. So like literally putting yourself in really uncomfortable situations, like to the point where you know it's going to feel, even me now, if I went in public set, it would make me feel uncomfortable because I haven't done it for a long time. I personally, I know this is a little go against what people say, but you shouldn't build a personal brand if you're fucking boring.
We better all fuck off then.
And when I mean boring, as in like, that doesn't mean you have to stay boring. Yeah. My version of boring is you are yet to like achieve, like get results. Because the thing is, right, you have to look at it a different way. If I was in a situation where I was starting from scratch, had no life experience, no work experience, no results, you would have to just build a brand around commentary and experimenting. You can do that. But people don't want to do that. They want to come at it from, I'm the expert. And that's why you put pressure on yourself of like having to come across a certain way. It's easier for me, what I realized, to show up as I do on camera is because I only talk about things I know about and have done. So really then, if people don't like me, it's fucking, it is what it is.
Yeah.
So I would say something practical is like actually look at like what you've done. Like what is it you want to talk about? Does that align with who your personal brand wants to be? Who do you want to help? Like who are the people that you actually want to help? If that aligns, the first thing you do is you get your phone out and you just start talking into the phone. You just record and you start talking to the phone. You don't have to do anything with that. Like you don't. 60, 90 seconds long. There's a lad, I don't want to bait him up because you know him. There's a lad I've made send me a video 4 videos every day for the last 2 months because he's shitting himself to get on camera. He's like, oh, I don't want to come across like that. I'm too cool. Nah, you're scared of what people think. Send me a video every single day. You want to see the videos now compared to like the first ones just because of repetition. I'm not going to post them nowhere. Just
If you coached him along that way though, have you said,
Nope.
do this, he's just sent it to you and he's just got better naturally?
Well, I've sent a structure of like how we want something to come across, but no, because it doesn't actually matter at that stage. Like you're trying to get good on camera before you get on camera. Like you're not going to be good on camera before you get on. The same way you're not going to be good at sales before you know how to sell. Like you have to do that bit first.
Yeah, that's true. If you know the right things to say, but you don't know how to say it on camera, you might as well not go on camera, right? So what you're saying is true. You got to practice to get better at it. I wish we had some practice with the podcast before we had that first episode.
We just got on the fucking podcast, but
Look how
you've
much
got to
better
throw
we've
yourself
got
in
now,
there.
though. Like I don't even think of the cameras, to be honest. Like literally at all.
Nah,
Like, I'm
this is a
chilled
good way
on-
to
I'm
do it.
chilled
I just
on
think,
the
oh, the
podcast
camera's turned on.
completely.
Is that button pressed?
Yeah, that's all I think about.
What's your? You said about the carousels, like your kind of structure. Do you follow the same structure? What's the structure with your reels currently?
What's working now?
So I would say is before you start going to reels, people get like precious about short form content. Like it has to be right. So if you want to start doing content, I would say start in your stories, because stories can go like within 24 hours. They will delete, and you can be a lot more personable and relaxed. So what after the carousels, after like shitting my pants and getting on camera and practicing, I would my strategy was like, right, stories every day. Get on camera every day in stories to the people that see me, yeah? And be like, what is one question or one bit of value that I can provide in my story? Doesn't have to be long, normally like 60 seconds. But what I wouldn't do is the pressure of like recording and going. I would record it first in story mode, because then you still have that control over whether you want to put it out or not. Okay, yeah. And then back then you used to have to use an app called Cut Story, and it would cut it up into the 15 seconds. Now you don't have to. And it'll be like, right, listen, I got this question. The easy one is like, I got this question from a client, or I was thinking this today, or do you struggle with this? And then you just provide like genuine value. It might be a tool, it might be a software, it might be like the smallest thing. When you're getting on camera, don't try and solve big problems. Solve the tiniest problem. You wouldn't be surprised, they're the things that actually get more traction. So like this, you could talk about this. This is the best fucking tool for your, or mic, or whatever it is. Like I could send you this setup. Guys, listen, if you're thinking about doing a podcast studio, I literally have spent $5,000 on a podcast kit. I've got everything, the mics, the cameras,
That's very simple, yeah.
Yeah, if you're struggling, you got any questions, let me know. Alternatively, drop me a DM and I'll send you the product list. Like, it could be just as simple as that.
I love that. I know you're quite a big advocate of giving away a lot of free value, and I know that's been very profitable for you. In terms of the free value that you give away, how do you find the right free value to give away? Because obviously you've still got to have a product to sell, right? Yeah. So like, where's the sweet spot for that, especially in marketing?
That's a good question. I think it boils down to who you want to help. You have to know who you want to help. So who's this person that ideally you want to help or you want to attract? And then the way I do it is I have in my brain this is, but you can map this out. Where they are now, so where are they right now? A lot of the times it's based on where I was. So where are they right now and where do they want to be? Like, what's the end goal for them? So let's say you're an online coach and you want to start getting to 50K months. Right now, they're probably got a shit offer. They're not getting consistent leads. They don't know how to sell high ticket. There's a list of things that are going to be in between where they are now, where they want to be. Yeah. I will just look at one of the micro things. So let's say it's don't know how to sell high ticket. I'll come up with, I don't know. If you DM me the word leads, I'll send you a breakdown of the 3 most important questions to ask in DMs to understand if someone can afford your high ticket program. It's like, it's fucking easy.
It's finding an issue, solving the issue.
Yeah, but tiny, micro issues.
Yeah.
Don't try and solve big issues. That's how I like to because from my point of view, value is all perspective, right? So if I said, right, how to go from 0 to 100K, I'm going to get loads of people interested, but is it going to be valuable? Can I give you something tangible that you can change for your business right now? I like the tangible things. So like yours might be a sales script for them to do.
It's literally just giving people a bit of value that they're actually going to think, oh yeah, wow.
Tangible. What can because most people give away shit. They just give away information and shit. I like to give away something that you could watch a video, look at a resource and actually improve your business. Because you will come back to me at some point. You'll either come back to ask questions or you'll tell someone, or at some point you're going to ask to work with me. So I like to create things that actually move the needle in the business.
If you're doing it direct to client, this is what I was thinking. Obviously, there's certain things that I was, for my business, I was thinking to go, the best option I could think of is to go down more like interior kind of online, like interior brochure sort of thing, the current trends, how to whatever, maximize space, this and that sort of, so they can feel like some clients don't want a full interior design service. They think they're interior designers. Just for those type of clients, kind of the additional help or information sort of thing. That's all I could kind of get to, a few ideas along that. Other than that, what kind of things could I break down in? So obviously I have to do building, so like renovation.
So here, that's a good one. I also don't think everyone needs to build a personal brand.
Sorry, this isn't really personal brand, just on terms of the free value.
The value. But I'm just saying, like, in terms of, but to get content out there, it's something I don't actually believe everyone has to build a personal brand.
I feel like it benefit everyone though.
It benefits, but you don't have to, because it's a forever game.
Listen, we're running like these two have a personal brand also, but we're still running businesses. We don't have personal brands.
Yeah, I'd say mine's almost, it's not less to do with directly the building company, but it's more like this stuff, the podcast, the people we get to meet, like by having a personal brand and having the podcast. We're now sat with you, we're sat with, you know, we've got good guests.
Access.
Building on that side of things, it's the access to the clients that help me in my business journey rather than specifically, is this going to get me more extensions today? Maybe not, but overall, I like talking business. I like meeting people to talk business. I like investments. I like, do you see what I mean?
That's the best way to look at it. Because I think, but going back to the whole value thing, is there's so many, the personal brand will help you. But with property, I think you have to be doing it. Like a lot of people talk shit in property, right? There's so many people. So the more you can be out there, filming, recording, and like going into properties, reviewing properties, like getting a videographer follow you around the day and then like go and see you on the move, that will get you more momentum than just like posting random things about property. Yeah. In the property world, that is, because so many people don't do that. There's a guy called Seb, I can't remember his name, he does a lot of like mortgages and like bridge loans and stuff. But he'll literally like go and get a videographer and then just go around all these different properties and just like renovations. You see him doing it, so that instantly builds trust in what he's doing. Whereas property's a tricky one. Like you might not have to. If you can like if you can get clients via Google ads and they pay you, then you don't have to plaster your face all over social media. You can do, and it's going to help, but you don't have to.
I think it'd help in any business. I think in any industry, I feel like personal brand would definitely, it would help.
All right, let me, Greenie and them boys, do they have to build a personal brand?
No. Do I think it would probably make them better connected with like having opportunities like this? Yes. I probably think it would.
All I'm just trying to say is like choose your challenge. Choose your challenge.
Yeah, no, that's true. Yeah.
Because if your time isn't, if you can't dedicate the time consistently, like if you got an itch you need to scratch and you want to do it 100%, it will pay you dividends. But if your goal isn't to have a personal brand, is to grow a successful business in like property, you might not have to put the personal brand first. You might have to lump money into ad campaigns or your time into building a team.
100%.
Yeah. And I think personal brands become a little thing like that. Everyone's got to have it, but it is a fucking chore.
Yeah, it's another job.
I was just going to say, just on
it's
that,
a chore.
like, it's really fucking hard, actually,
It's hard,
to build a personal brand. And it's not just about the content, it's about the consistency.
Man.
Like, I'm so bad in terms of, I'll post something which is really good, and then I get the bug for it, and I'll post maybe 3 things in a week, get a bit gassed, get some good traction, and then I just don't do it for a month. It's completely fall off. And it's not because I don't want to, it's because running a business is hard, man. Like, we've got 14 staff now. I'm so busy. Like, I need help with it. I want to ask you a question on this as well, because you have done it very well and you have a very successful marketing company. How do you find the time to build a personal brand? Do you have your team help you with it, or is it all you?
Now I do. So before I used to just like get camera on, to have a notepad on or my phone. Whenever I'm running, I get an idea, I'll just jot it down. Now there's like information everywhere. Like, so it's like, how do you stand out? How do you be slightly different? So I'm playing a slightly different game in my brain anyway. But I have a researcher that will go and find, again, format. I've had to change my format. So the quizzes, reactions, they're easy for me to do. Whereas before, if I've had to like think about 7 to 10 different videos, it's a lot. I can't do it. So get a format that you feel comfortable with and you can produce consistently. So that mine at the minute is quizzes and reactions.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah. Batch. So I've got a project planner. So you need to batch ideas. So you spend 1 to 2 hours at least a week batching ideas. But they can come to you as and when. And you just, as long as you've got somewhere to store them, you store them there, yeah? So that way you'll have one time dedicated to just getting ideas together. Then I normally script another hour, 2, and then I'll batch shoot. So I normally spend like 3 sections in my week. I normally do it like Monday, Wednesday, Friday. But I have a team. I have 2. So my team consists of my cousin, Charlie. She's in Bali. She'll go and find loads of reaction videos for me. I try not to watch them before I shoot, so it's like a real reaction.
That's it.
And then I have videographer that's in India that just does the videos for me. So we use ClickUp for the project planner and notes on my phone. And then I use a thing called Frame. Don't you heard about Frame?
No, what's that?
So you'll upload the video and you can just, it's like you can review, he'll upload his edits on his side and then I can say, oh, that's broken or change this, all within the platform. So when I get the video back, you know, like the uploading, downloading, all that crap, it's just so long. So we just do use that. Frame.
Remember
Frame.
that. So the editing side of things,
yeah.
because obviously we've got someone who's great doing our videos, Zach, and
He's going to be editing this podcast.
Yeah,
as
he'll
well,
be editing.
Oh, he's going to mug him off then.
Just to remind you.
So we're experimenting with using like an AI and stuff to help get the captions, the emoji, the sound effect. Is that what you use, or is your editor?
So I'm a little bit behind because I don't do that. I know I could, and I could save a lot of money, but also it's hard to find fucking good people, and my editor is unreal.
Yeah.
So I always use him.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can. There's captions. There's loads of them. Just chop them up. So if you don't have the luxury of paying 60 to 100 quid for a video, which is sometimes what I pay, you could easily go do it on like softwares that just chops them all up, takes the little bits out and captions on.
Is it your guy in India who does the editing for you? Do you send him the full raw clip and he'll edit it?
All the backgrounds and everything. They're fully edited.
That's the proper.
I haven't got time. I haven't got time.
But even like with our videos, we're trying to get them to like that level. But I think that's what Zach said, where we're trying to do a lot of videos.
Have you seen Shits and Gigs podcast?
Yeah.
No,
That's funny.
Oh, mate,
That's
you
so
got to
funny.
listen
You've
to
not
Shits
seen
and
it?
Gigs.
I've seen it. No.
That's like my guilty
jokes.
pleasure, man. You listen to them
They're
two
so
days. And they're flying, right? Granted, they're talking about all different stuff, yeah? But they don't do no shit on their podcast. It's just a really engaging podcast. There's so many... again, like, what is the video going to be used for? Because if you're trying to do all like the animations and all that stuff, it might not even be needed. Like at your point right now, it might just be a case of like just consistent.
Definitely.
I think that's.
I think that is the main thing, really. I think it is the consistency. Obviously, we've got an editor and stuff, so we're trying to make them as good as possible. But I think varying the content as well.
Yes.
Our videos just look at the second kind of the same.
Yeah.
Same. So I think we just need to find ways to mix it up, vary the content, vary the what's it called? The front page thing. The
Tiles.
Thumbnail
sort of thing.
Listen, I spent 2.5 hours looking at thumbnails the other day because mine are shit. The editors would. I come to realise it don't fucking matter. I was just like, just burnt 2.5 hours like trying to get this brief together on how to do a thumbnail. I was like, what the fuck does it matter? Like, and ultimately, like my account, I don't get much reach on it at the minute, so I have to pay for reach on my account, whether I like it or not. So if I wasn't getting the reach and I wasn't paying, I literally am just posting to have a nice video on there because it goes within like seconds.
Yeah.
So there's multiple things you got to like break down why you want to do these things. Don't just do it because everyone else is. Like, how does it serve you in the business now? You said about you're doing podcasts with clients. Brilliant. That's a testimonial video. That's a sales pitch video. That's social media. Like, do you know what I mean? It's like how you can leverage that because it's your time right now. This is all of you lot's time. It has to go. It has to be leveraged in the right way. I
agree. You mentioned something earlier. You said personal branding is a forever game.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
Good question. The personal brand is you. And for it, if you want to do it, if you choose to do it, you have to, for me, have to show up authentically, right? Because when you disappear, I get busy, I get this, you're going to come back to it. You would have built up some sort of audience. Like, it's not something that's going to just you don't just disappear. It's just you. It's just you, but online. So it's a forever game. Like, if you sign up to it, yeah, you can stop doing it. But if you sign up to it, you got to continue doing it. Like, there isn't an end goal what's the end goal with a personal brand?
Make money.
But isn't there easier ways to make money than personal brand?
I'd say the goal of running a personal brand is to build trust, credibility.
What's the end goal?
The end goal? That's a good question. I don't actually think I know.
I think for me, I think it's like this is why I said to you before, didn't I? For me, the end goal was like, I've had it in my notes from like 4 years ago before everyone was even jumping on the podcast. Like, I wanted to have a podcast. I want to be able to do talks. I want to pass on, once I'm at the stage in 20 years where I know I want to be able to pass on that information to as many people and the knowledge and have a platform. And then that's where we came to the conclusion, well, why don't we just get started now? And talk about the journey along the way as well. It's obviously what we're learning.
The journey is so much good. That's the better way to do it. But there's no end goal.
No.
You just stop when you... there's no like, I've won personal branding. Like, I don't feel like I've won personal branding. It's a fucking chore. It is. I feel like sometimes it's just a chore. It's just hard work.
Do you not enjoy it?
I enjoy this. I enjoy this has given me access to you guys, coming here, talk to you guys about what's going on with your business, maybe help you. I enjoy connecting with different entrepreneurs and people. I enjoy getting clients through it. Do I enjoy sitting there making content? Do I fuck?
No.
I'd rather play with my kids, like, and build Lego, or watch a film. I don't. Saturday, Sunday morning, sometimes where I might. You said, "Oh, how do I do it?" I don't. Sometimes I get so backed up. I'll have to wake up at 5 and shoot content 5 till 7 or 5 to 8 before my kids get up, because I've not done what I should have done in the week. It's not all like fun and games, you know.
That's the work, though, isn't it? And this is
done.
the result. This is obviously what that work has produced. Is the fact that you get to do things like this, a network of other people online. You done the stand up at the event the other day as well.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy that?
I did.
Yeah?
Again, just only from the sheer fact that I couldn't get on a stage like 3-4 years, mate. I couldn't talk in like a crowd of people, let alone like get on stage.
Did you get mentoring for doing like public speaking?
No.
Didn't?
No.
Or did you just get over it? Just do it?
I tell you what, because again, fear is a little theme here, isn't it? Like whenever I get fear, I just throw myself in the deep end. But someone asked me to come and do a talk and tell my story at school. I was like, okay, let's do, that'd be all right. Stratford, year 10 and 11, lad school, 350 students.
All carrying.
Literally.
All told up.
That was my intro to public speaking. Like, you can imagine, like, my arsehole was like through the roof. That's a hard audience. But
kids could take the piss. That's the thing. That's what
Kids
could actually take the piss.
I'm seeing them get thrown out. I'm seeing some of them like laughing. It was all right. It went all right. It went all right, actually. But that's because, again, I had that thing of like, I don't want to have this regret of saying I want to do something, knowing it can help me, and I'm afraid to do it. So whenever I get that feeling, I just chase it. That's why you should be putting pressure on each other. Hard. None of this, we get round of it. Like, hardcore pressure.
I think we all need to hold each other accountable for what we want to achieve. Like, within our group, we got a good group here. We're all on the same or similar journey. We're all very hungry. We've all done quite well up until this point. So it would be very good to,
I think we've taken good action. Obviously, we had a little bit of time off the podcast because we had some technical issues. So as we
is that the button?
As
we
press a button.
Yeah, as we moved from James's studio to here, so we had a bit. Obviously, now we're back filming. We've got a few episodes already filmed, and then we're releasing back every week now. So we're gonna have the content come in. Obviously, we can take that content, post it on our personal pages, our business pages.
Just don't get obsessed with like. Just don't get obsessed with what everyone... I know it's easier said than done because you're always going to compare, but don't get obsessed about the numbers and like what other people, content creators are doing. Don't get obsessed about it. You wouldn't get obsessed with the fact that someone in America is driving around with fucking Bentleys and all that shit. You might go, I love that, but you wouldn't get obsessed that you haven't got it. Same with content. Some of these, like me, I've been creating content now like three years or whatever. Like I'm paying up to $100 sometimes a video. You can't compare. I only use a lot of them for ads. You can't compare those two things. You've got to find your reasons why. That's why I said to you, it's so important. Why do you want to build the brand?
How many times are you trying to post at the moment?
I do 4 posts.
A week,
yeah.
A week, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That
Is
makes
that all
sense.
video?
Yeah, mainly. I sometimes chuck, if I'm behind, I'll chuck like an image or a carousel.
One of the issues that I had, so I filmed myself talking. I sent it to my marketing team. They edited it. I think I sent it to you.
Yeah, that was
you
good.
boys said it was good. But I didn't like the background it was in. I didn't like the sound quality. I'd done it in my home office, and I weren't quite sure about how it sounded.
Yeah.
It was content, but it wasn't. I didn't look at it and think like, oh, this looks so professional.
Why does it
Doesn't
need to
need
look
to.
professional?
Yeah, that's just my own. Again, maybe it's an element of fear. Or
It is,
just,
man.
or
You
just
care
doubt.
about you care.
I
No,
thought-
you care what, but you care.
And
What
you
people
guys said
think.
it was pretty good. She edited it really well.
Yeah,
I mean, I think that
came out well.
was what made it so good, was the fact she edited it really well. But
If we didn't
I
think it's
feel-
worth posting, we would have definitely told you as well.
Yeah, no, of course. No,
Yeah.
I rate your guys' opinion because you'll tell me the truth anyway. Like we always.
I don't think I saw it, bro. If I didn't reply to that,
Dan
I'm
would have
sorry.
popped up
I think
like
I was
3
in.
days later.
I think I was in Rome, in Italy at the time.
That was a while ago.
No,
It's like a
ages
month
ago.
ago.
This is
You
ages
probably
ago.
have
This was
seen
like 2
it.
months ago or something.
Yeah.
She said, "Oh right, can I post it?" And I was like, "No." I just didn't like it.
Do it now.
Yeah, go on. Do it.
Do
now.
it.
Yeah, accountability. Do it right now. Post it.
Accountability, man.
Show the camera as you
Post
post
that
it.
up now.
This is where the
I'm
accountability
not even on
starts.
my,
Oh, here we go.
I
Excuse
posted
me.
my Insta.
I'm
Do it
injured,
now.
gaffer. I'm injured. My knee.
My knees.
Do it now. Do it now. You're off the podcast.
So right now you're gonna get more views. It's calm. They're gonna see you
Right,
posting
where's
it. Probably.
Caitlin?
Did he post it? Did he post it?
So Caitlin.
Did you post it?
This is
Post
gonna be
it.
out.
Well
The
done, mate.
podcast is gonna be like 2 or 3 weeks. By then we're gonna have like 30k. mate.
Shout out Jake for posting. Though.
Yeah, man.
That's good. Well, that's actually takers win.
Overcoming
always.
fears. Oh, yeah, I like
That's big in
that.
the game.
Mate, to me, be fair, that for me is like, that's a huge win, man. You've sat, how long have you sat on that?
Well, I'll tell you now because this is when she edited it in.
21st of July.
No, that's not even. Then she had asked me, "Can I post this now?" Look, this was it here. This is May.
19th of May.
19th of May.
I mean, so like,
One.
July, all 3 months.
That's a whole quarter.
you literally could have posted, helped. Change this at the minute. If you want to be posting on posting content, right, but you are not, and you truly say you want to help people, you're being selfish. This is what I actually said to Alfie to get him to do it. Like, you're actually being selfish. You're a liar. Because if you put the goal of helping people before caring what people thought of you, you would start creating the content. Because that is the thing that it wouldn't matter how good it is. It would be like, I know what I'm going to say is going to add value, so I'll put that in front of it. But you're not. You're being selfish because you're thinking, well, that content shit, I haven't got the right lighting, sounds this, my mum's going to watch and laugh at me, my mate's going to take the piss out of me. That's the truth.
We overcome it here, obviously, by doing the podcast, isn't it? Like that's part of it. I still feel like I do have the fear as
You're
well.
gonna, man.
Yeah.
You're gonna, like, if you ask me right now to do a video, like right in front of you, lot, I'd probably have a little bit of anxiety.
Do it.
What do you want me to do?
Just say here with the Multipliers Club today, filming a podcast.
Oh, mate, I won't be able to say all
Fire
of
coming
that.
soon.
It's on fire coming soon. Fire being dropped in the booth.
Yeah, like you get these. It don't
I feel
really
like
go away.
we should all do it.
It literally doesn't go away. You just look sexy though.
That always helps, doesn't it?
It's blurry. Oh, here we go.
Who's that good-looking guy?
Here we go. The lads on the podcast. Feel like I'm on Dragon's Den, dropping some gems. I'll just tell them how much I shit myself on camera, and they've made me get this out. So
Smashed.
but like literally be personable as well. Like that's the easiest thing. If you be yourself, the worst thing is people get on and then they start presenting. You feel like you got to present and like put on this persona. You cannot sustain that.
Yeah.
And you just can't sustain it. So that's when you don't like, so see that, yeah, I would post that on my stories and then all I do, save, and then post it up. Like I'll tag you lot in. That's why I'm not going to do it now. But that you don't have to hit send. You just like, do you know what I mean? There's no dark art to it.
Yeah.
Just on that as well, and I'm kind of exposing myself a little bit here.
Let's
to
do
be
it,
fair.
man. Let's get into the fucking.
This is like counselling.
This is like mushroom therapy again.
I want to try that. Is that good?
It's fucking weird, mate. It depends where you're doing it. It's really weird. We done it around some like mushroom doctor's house called Atom.
Oh, have you? I
Yeah.
heard that.
Is it
story.
good?
I
Tell
don't
me
think
the
he was like
story,
a
man.
registered doctor. We just got hella fucked up on shrooms. and he got out all of these like art pictures and shit and put on classical music. And we played a game called Who Are You, where you'd write down on a piece of paper, who are you? You go around in a circle. When the mushrooms kick in, I'd ask you, who are you? You'd be like, oh, my name's Danny, I'm 43. And then someone would be like, but who are you? Who are you? And then eventually you might be crying like, I'm just trying to impress my dad.
Oh, mate.
Just like tears running down your eyes whilst you're seeing fucking dragons in the sky. It's really mad.
How many people were there?
It's
Like five, six people.
Yeah.
Right, there's your content. That's your type of content.
We didn't plan to do it. It just kind of happened. It was like a random Tuesday, and then but it was an experience. To be fair, like, we all
Mate, if
learned
any
a lot
clients are
from it.
listening to this, we don't normally do streams on a Tuesday.
It was Christmas.
It was during Christmas.
It was Christmas Day,
I'd done
it
a
was-
similar thing, right? I went, this guy is quite spiritual. I had a client, he was a client at the time. He's like, I'll come to this thing. Because I was like, I was listening to Mike Tyson talk about the frog.
Yeah.
You heard him talk about that?
Yeah.
Was it not DMT? He's like ayahuasca. Whatever it is.
Ayahuasca. Joe's done that.
Have you?
Yeah.
Right, so
did a
what's the
podcast
one below
about
that is like DMT?
No,
I think
DMT
Mike
is
Tyson's
like,
was
there's
DMT,
different
I
forms
feel.
of DMT. So like,
Okay.
you lick the toad and
Yeah.
that's got DMT. Ayahuasca's DMT mixed with something else. You can smoke a different part of DMT.
Got ya.
So,
Right.
but yeah, you have different experiences. Like DMT, if you just smoke, it's like 15 minutes. Ayahuasca's like 6 hours.
Oh, no, I'm not interested. That's too much for me. So this lad's like, come with me if you want to explore it. I've got a place where we can go. Proper legit, like all organised, and try it. DMT, whatever this thing is. I was like, something was just calling me because you have like mad awakenings during it. So I went to this house, like past Stratford way, come to this house. I'm waiting outside. The house looks ropey. I'm like, I'm not into this kind of stuff. So I'm like, I'm giving it one more minute and then I'm off. So I'm waiting outside this house. Looks like a crack house. I'm like, it's massive. Like, dude comes up to me. He's like, oh, you here for the, because he said someone else was coming. So I was like, oh, you here to try to see Shaman John. You here to see Shaman John? John.
John the Shaman.
And he was like, what are you talking about, bruv? I was like, he's like, I'm here to pick up. I was like, oh, mate, I ain't a drug dealer. He thought I was a drug dealer. He's standing at the house. He must have. I was like, no, mate, wrong person. Anyway, go around the back of the house. This guy's got an apartment, Shaman John. It's lovely and clean. It was a nice place, like mattresses. And then he puts on like this DMT party thing where it's like, there was like an old lady, there's a taxi driver, guy from the Financial Times, and they do this thing where they blow the tobacco up your nose.
Oh, yeah.
And then that clears your harpe.
Yeah.
The lady next to me, she's an old like Irish lady, she starts like speaking tongue. Like speaking some mad language. I'm like freaking out. Like, I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? And then people like, what do they like? Throw up. Some people like throwing up. They like
I was
cleanses
thrown
you.
up, yeah.
But your brain just goes like, you can just like, it's just like still. I was like, whoa, this feels like really nice. And then he has it in like a vape thing. And you do the vape and you just go on this mad journey. I can't really smoke, so I like probably didn't go as crazy, but it was, you just go into like some next places like crazy. The big takeaway for me, it's the thing I like about it, it's not like you chase it either. It's not like, it's very humbling. So I just had this mad sense of like gratitude, like how insignificant we are in the bigger picture of things. Like you just feel this big, but I'd like come out with so much gratitude from it. It was really an experience.
DMT,
man.
like, I don't know if I'm ready for it yet, but I do want to do it one day. Funnily enough, my nan always used to say, like, Sam, you're not ready for DMT until you find yourself a little bit. She was like a proper hippie from the 60s.
Really?
Loved the shrooms, loved acid. I think she's done an acid tab in like the 90s. Never came down. It's just always true.
Oh, what a legend, man. I want to meet her.
Yeah, she's rest in peace now.
Oh,
She's
bless
not
her.
around anymore, but yeah, she was a
man.
real G. But it makes you think, like with DMT especially, you guys heard about Mike Tyson do the DMT? He's obviously a big ego guy. He said he felt so small in such a big universe. He like cried for 2 days or some shit. And now he wears like bumblebee costumes and smokes loads of weed.
Yeah.
It's completely different.
Different
Changed,
guy.
Yeah.
Proper, like, yeah, he proper changed after that. Really, really changed. He's a better he seems, I don't know him, seems like a better person for it.
happy
What was your
for
experience
sure.
like?
It was mental.
We had no episode.
We did a
on
whole
it.
episode.
Listen to.
Oh, I'll have to
go
listen
back.
to that.
That's
I'll listen
wicked.
to
Like,
that.
that's probably one of my favourite episodes we've done.
It's a good
but
story.
overall, it was wicked. Like I did it in Mexico. Went deep into the jungle overnight there.
What was calling you to do it?
I think I was just it's after I sold my personal shopping business, and I was running like 3 businesses at one point.
Yeah.
And then I stopped the events one after COVID. I weren't too interested really in it. Sold the clothing. The building one was a bit kind of, is this really what I want to be doing? It's a bit shit. And I was just a little bit kind of lost really. And then I'd heard someone else do it in a business thing we was in. He owned a online platform thing, and his experience when he came back and talked about it, he summed it up with a way that just sort of stuck with me. He said sort of like it's after the journey, it's kind of like zooming out on a giant chessboard of your life, and you can just see the next moves to make. And then that kind of stuck, and obviously I'd done a lot more research and stuff like this, and then just things kept happening. I kept hearing about it more and more. When I went out to Mexico, it's legal there. When we was meant to go Bali, and then I kept sitting, and all that sort of stuff.
And then done it.
And then in the end, I thought, you know what? Yeah, I just want to do it. The time's right. And yeah, it was wicked. It was good. It was good.
Listen to it.
I don't know if I can go to it. I don't know if I can go that far. But Shaman John's my safety. Shaman John on the mattress in Stratford. I've only done it once. I would do it again. But I'll give you his number. You could do because I think he comes out and does like private ones, which is probably better.
Ceremony type.
Yeah, it's probably better.
On a Tuesday though, only on Tuesday.
That'd be good content, lads. That should be a podcast episode. That should be another podcast episode.
That would be good. I think going back to the personal branding thing, so I just went on a mad tangent about shrooms.
I like it.
What I was going to say is I'm exposing myself a little bit here, but I think it's the right thing to do because I am on my personal brand, especially when I first started it, not who I truly am, if that makes sense. And it comes down from when we were in the broking industry, we got taught to, hello, is John available, please? This stupid voice. So I kind of indoctrinated that habit when I started my business, trying to be something that I'm not, still being me, but kind of sugarcoating the way I speak, changing it. And the truth is, it's not real. That's not who I am. I am who I am. Yeah. And I think that's where I've gone wrong and where I can feel disconnected with my personal brand sometimes, because I'm like, if I'm going to build this personal brand, I need to be me. Do you know what I'm saying? So I think trying to stay true to yourself is
what is
struggle.
Okay, so just saying on that, and I agree with you. What is you?
Here we go again.
Here's the thing: is like what, and I'm not gonna. It's a hard question to ask. I hate the people. Who are you? And you don't have an instant answer. Most people don't. But like when you say you put on, I was the same, similar background, and I pretended for a very long time, probably longer than you. So like what? Who are you? Knowing who you are, who you want to help, and why is what will be able to allow you to build a personal brand.
Definitely, man. And the best way I can answer that is when I've brought on a client and I become pally with them. Yeah, that's who I am, and that's what retains. Do you know what I mean? Like going out with clients, having a great time, experiencing stuff, having a laugh. Whereas I watch some of the podcasts I've shot with my clients, and they are really good podcasts. But I'm like, why the fuck am I putting that voice on?
Yeah, but that's natural, man. It's because it's just all being comfortable on the camera. Yeah, it's like how you feel you need to come. I've got to the point in life where I genuinely, like you saying, I know all the marketers and that. I could not give a fuck. Like genuinely, it'd be nice to meet these guys and if they're, I just don't care. I care enough to meet you. Like synergy, great. If you like me, cool. Because ultimately, again, what do you want? My kids, my missus, my very close pals, what I think about myself. But it's taken me ages to get to that point. I'm talking late, mid-30s to get to that point. But I hate that when people say most. A lot of people care about the impression more than what the fuck they want. Like, what is the things you actually want? Why? That's why I kept asking you, why do you want to do it? The why is more important. The why of you wanting to do it is knowing that is so much more than just the format of what to post because if the why is big enough, you're going to fucking do it. The desire is going to be there to do it.
The way that you're actually talking is kind of like what we all do anyway. Is actually goal setting. Like, so set the goal and then break it down into your daily, weekly, monthly goals. Like, I suppose you can just do that with your personal
right now,
brand.
your personal brand, the why is not big enough.
Yeah.
The why is not big enough to do it. Like, genuinely. Otherwise, you'd be doing it.
We're
But
here working on it.
You're doing it. You're doing it. It's just like breaking it down into like, just keep leaning into that. What is it you want to do it for? Like, genuinely, what is it? What's the outcomes you want? Who do you want to help? Do you actually care about helping them? Like, you might, don't know if it's going to mess you up. You might not genuinely enjoy helping aesthetics companies get results. And that's why you can't consistently put content, because you think, it's people injecting shit in their lips. Like, how much content can I create around that? So your shit might be like completely different. It might just be about young entrepreneurs and side hustles and shit, but you still will get clients off the back end of it because people are going to come to you.
For sure. And this might shoot myself in the foot a little bit, but I just want to be as true to myself as possible in this podcast. Is aesthetics my passion? No. Have I had some free Botox? Yes. Did I know I was going to get it when I got into the industry? No, but that's a whole nother story. It's worn off now.
Yeah, mine's bad, bro. Mine's bad.
I mean, I know a few local people if you're interested.
I've inquired in many. I just haven't done it yet.
So yeah, I think definitely like building a personal brand around something you have a real passion for is, of course, it's going to help, but it's like being able to monetize that passion. What is that? You know, what
so
niche is
separate personal brand and monetize.
Uh-huh.
I would separate that firstly.
That's a really good point, actually.
Like separate the monetize from the personal brand, because then you're going to put pressure on it, like the numbers and everything. You don't have to build a business around something that you're passionate about, but I do think you need to build a personal brand around the things you're passionate about.
How strongly?
Because otherwise you're just not going to stay consistent. Yeah. It's hard enough anyway to be consistent when you are passionate, let alone when you're not. So you'll just end up hating what you do.
How strongly linked is obviously your marketing business now to your personal brand? And you're talking about obviously the passionate side of things. Your niche is the high ticket coaches. Yeah. Is that something that just...
That's a good question, man.
Pays the bill as well?
It's a good question, because even for me, like, am I passionate about helping some idiot coach that's created a shit product and wants to flog it to some kids? Absolutely not. I won't work with you. Am I attracted to helping someone that has a transferable skill that could help someone like me back in the day that wanted to start a career in marketing or like a design agency? Yeah, I like that. That feels good to me. Like helping a coach that could like help people become financially free. Yeah, that feels good to me. So it don't have to be like, this is my passion, but you have to at least be excited or like talking around those things and have some experience about it. I just, because of our background in sales, leverage king. So yes, you will get more people come to you asking to work with you through your personal brand than your business brand. Fact, unless you're paying for ads for your business. So I only create the content. My first goal really is attention for the business. I use it as business content, my personal brand, personally.
Yeah.
Like my personal brand is just the foot in the door. I like it. But when I started, I didn't put emphasis on it making me money. It was just, I knew that this is something I needed to come in. It's become something that actually I know I can monetize. But if you start the monetization, then you're gonna come unstuck. But like if you right now started creating content that you knew you could use in your sales follow-up or you could do outreach with, like it then makes it a little bit easier to justify spending the time.
Yeah, for
but
sure.
if you're not passionate about if you're not passionate about speaking about aesthetics, talk about some like literally list all the things that it might be sales. It might be selling.
Yeah,
it's interesting because I put a couple of short clips of me giving one of my clients sales training out maybe back in February. It done really well. Like,
that was a sick video. That was actually a live. That's probably your best video you've done.
I agree, and it was like one of the first videos I've done. But it's just because I know, I'm not saying like I'm the best salesperson in the world. I'm quite good, but in terms of like I understand it and I am quite passionate about it because of how we were taught. You know, like, I think about that every day. Like the training we had back in the day from sales, from that industry, it's unmatched. I'd choose that over any university degree, college degree.
Yeah, it teaches you life skills.
How old was you guys when you
mindset.
got started?
Oh man, I was a
17,
baby.
17,
Oh,
18. And I think, it was about 18, yeah. But yeah, we never really like come from wealthy backgrounds or anything like that. And it was a case of, right, you want this much money, right, you can do it. You know, no one tells you that at school. Your parents won't tell you that. Your family won't tell you that. But we went in hardcore and it was like, right, get on your fucking feet. Get on your fucking feet.
17,
and if you ain't, then you ain't going
is-
to make your 6 figures, whatever you want to make.
Do you remember, maybe not saying any names, but there was this one specific guy and he told me I could make £1 million. And like he was saying he was billing like 500 grand a month, nicking 50 grand. And I just bought into it and I just wanted to be exactly like him. I started buying similar suits to him. I couldn't afford the same suits as him, but I'd go to like Next, get a suit for a $1 and I'd get like the blue 3-piece. I remember the first pair of Russell and Bromleys I bought. Mate, I felt mustard in those Russell and Bromleys. You know,
you know the thing about that those type of industries, and this is what I had to learn. And you lot are young, so you've got so much time. Is you latch on like you just did to success in those places, because you're not going to be like the losers that are not doing anything. So you latch on to people that are winners because you want to be a winner. But then you latch on to everything. You take everything of that's the way it could be done, and then you lose your identity, what you actually are.
Yeah,
so you then you try and become mini
well.
versions of them, and it works because success rubs off. You learn, you start acting as if, and you start getting momentum. But then when you come away from it, you are left with the same question: like, who are you? Like, what do you want? Like, what do you stand for? What's important to you? And if you don't check in with that, you take the skills, the knowledge, the mindset, but then you check in with what you want, who you are, where you want to go, then it's a winning combo. But a lot of people just stay lost. Now they're just trying to wait for someone else to latch onto. Lads, no disrespect, it's probably another reason I've done it, why you keep buying mentoring and fucking things like that. It's called end line fallacy. You think that this thing is going to be a finish line for you. It's not a finish line. You know the answers for most things. Mentoring gives you speed, if it's the right one.
Do you know what I think mentor gives you is accountability? I feel like that's the biggest thing for me, is accountability.
Yeah. I think the ones we've had, most of us have had, like of recent, have been good. I know there's a lot of bad ones out there, but like the one we recently did with Steve was
On a
we
refund.
learned stuff that...
It's sick when it's a tangible. Like, it's
like
really
stuff
good.
that literally straight away you can implement. You can increase your price of your product or your service, like which we have with... Do you know what I mean? I'm now trying to take like all the stuff he taught us within that 3 days is 100% worth it.
Mate, if you can make the money back, it's worth it.
The other one I said to you about the property one, straight away I know the money's worth it.
They're worth... Listen, I've got coaches. I'm not saying don't hire coaches, but don't...
But a lot of people think it's going to change your whole world, isn't it?
Nah, a lot of people buy into the mentor to find out... Like, my question is, you said about accountability. Why are you not accountable now?
Maybe a confidence thing.
No, but everyone needs it. Like, I'm just saying, like, that's the question I would ask myself.
I feel like I'm just that type of person, and maybe it's self-profiling, but like, even when it comes down to the gym, like, I've got someone who I check in with, we do check-ins, and
it's not a bad thing, because I'm the same.
Yeah,
I'm the same.
I have to have someone in anything that I do, pretty much. I don't know, maybe just like a gratification thing, or just being like, not necessarily a pat on the back, but someone to go, yes, you're doing that correctly.
Yeah.
I know there's sometimes, I mean, especially when it comes down to training and doing your body and whatever. I know how to train, I know how to go to the gym, but it's like, am I going to eat that food? Like, maybe I'm not confident enough in myself to be able to hold myself accountable to do
hard.
that.
It is hard, but I'm not saying you don't do those things. Like Ironman, I had an Ironman coach. Fitness, I have a fitness coach. I have a business coach. I've got an agency coach. I've got coaches.
Yeah.
But ask yourself why you need it. Because when I'm getting with a coach, I try and get the information, and then I want to put a timestamp on how long I work with them fuckers. Because why the fuck should I? Like, I'm not paying you forever. It's speed, right? I want that speed.
Yeah.
But if the problem you came there was because of accountability, that has to be fixed by the time you fucking are done. Like, what's the time frame? You're like, no, I can hold myself accountable. This is bollocks. It might be a year, it might be 2 years, you might stay for but that's the mindset I normally have when I work with a coach. It's like, let me extract the info. Why do I want it? What am I missing that I should be doing? And then I put a timeline on. Because then it gives you an end goal of how long you pay for as well.
I like getting the experts in with anything. That's just like what I like doing.
You like spending money, man. It is good because you get speed and you get access and you get all of that. But then also, like, if the expert then fucks off or you don't, like, you just got to, that why question's a big one, man.
Coming back to it, it's good.
We all invest.
So the questions, basically, it's the questions that no one wants to fucking ask themselves because they avoid it and then they make excuses. Then they pay money because they think that's going to be the answer. Sometimes it is, sometimes it's not.
You know what I wonder, just going back to the personal branding, I think there's pros and cons, isn't there? Because the pros of a personal brand is people trust people and not so much logos. Aaron Branch says, you know, the biggest companies in the world, McDonald's, they're killing people. They're a logo, right? Whereas with personal brands, you trust people. But here's the problem is, does that mean that everybody who works with your business now wants to work with you because you're the personal brand?
Yeah, I've had that.
Do you get what I'm saying? So whereas if the pros for a company brand are you can have 4 staff members that are all producing content, that they're not relying on you. So when you go on holiday, you can just fully switch off. Like, what are your thoughts on that? Can you leverage a personal brand to still get your staff to look after?
Yeah, 100%.
Personal brand?
Yeah, I've had that with my agency. I tried to grow both accounts for a period. Just nightmare, like trying to grow a business account. So personal brand blew, but naturally people come and see you as the face. So then you have to focus on how you hand over. Like, how do you hand over that client to your team? And also then making sure that either you got the systems or the people to actually deal with it. So what would used to happen is I'll come in, you're probably like me, really high energy, high sales, and then you hand over to someone that's on a computer that doesn't talk to anyone all day, and they get low energy, basic info, no relationship, and then the client wants to leave. So that client success role, that person you hand the relationship, one, you have to tee them up like a legend, and 2, they have to be able to box at the same level with the client. Otherwise, there's 2 different roles. There's account manager, which is basically like minds are shit, like you're always on the back foot trying to deal with problems, put out fires. There's a client success role that is actually coaching the client and stays a step ahead of the client. I used to hire account managers wanting them to be like me, which was client success. So you need to look for a client success person that is actually
mate, like you
that
just hit
actually
the nail
will
on the
like
head there. Yeah, because that's me and Luke are trying to find a client success manager as we speak. And I interviewed 3 people yesterday. Great marketeers, can't string a sentence together. It's not going to work. Where can I find a good client success manager?
You got to steal them.
You got any going?
Yeah, you got to steal them. I learned this as I've got a guy now. So I bought a program. You know when I'm digging you out about, Lord, I'm not digging you out.
No,
I am you. By the way, like I've spent so much fucking money on courses and programs, like into the hundreds, right? So a mentor once said to me, and I didn't listen to him. He's like, those type of people that are trying to you want to replace a big element of like what you do in the business, you have to steal them from other companies and programs. So I signed up to a program which was how to do like launches, because we was coming away from live webinars, and my client success at the time was this dude, Luke. He's fucking sick. I thought it was his company. He cared that much. He was brilliant. And then when the mentor said that to me, I was like, fuck, who can I steal? And then I was like, Luke, how you doing, Luke? Message him on Instagram. How you getting on? How's business? Oh, not great at the minute, actually. These cunts, I don't know what they're doing.
Shame.
Law of attraction. So I basically just like headhunted him from another program.
Sick.
That's the best way. So look at maybe like out of all the programs, all the people that you've spoke to, like think of people that have actually like had similar traits. Traits and values are really important. So right now, I used to think like doing company values wasn't important, but they're so important, because then when you're measuring someone up against, are they a good fit? Or even if you're doing progress reviews, you always go back to your core values and see if they're, like, you hold them accountable to these values. Like, you know, are you failing forward? Are you taking responsibility? Are you, like, all these type of things?
Sure. Yeah, that's some really good advice, man. Just on that as well, like with a client success manager, salary, right? So not how much you pay your person, but to find a good client success manager, what would you say? Like, what's the range?
I don't know how much do I pay. I think we're in like the 40, 50 mark.
Right, okay, it's quite good. Well, decent salary.
I've paid people.
There's a commission on top of that.
So it's 40 plus commissions, like based on like how many clients are under management, how many finish their launching time. There's other little bonuses factored in.
Yeah.
But I had to do that because I had to steal him away, and I also knew it was good.
Sure.
So I can imagine if it's not that case and you don't know, it's quite a risky thing to do. The worst, I held on for way too long to all of the reins. So you need to start leveraging other people with minimal risk. The way I calculate it is, I'll send this to you. There's a chart, a spreadsheet that gives you your next worry date. Yeah. How much can the business afford till it runs out of dough, basically? Yeah. And then you look at how much you can afford out of that to hire someone. Do you have enough contracts to come in? What can you justify paying? Don't look at it as a year-long salary. Look at it as a 3-month salary.
Yeah.
Just 3 months, because the 3-month probation is when you can sack them. And you do sack them and let them go at 3 months if they're not good enough. So if the business can afford it, you look at that window of time, and then you obviously then have to start.
Yeah, sure. That's some good advice. I think me and Luke are in a stage now where we've realised we took the agency to a decent mark. We've got 45, 50, maybe 45 clients retainer. It's a hell of a lot, man. So, as you know firsthand, the delivery aspects, the management systems you've got to have is huge. We're now trying to get the best people. To get the best people, you've got to pay the right money, right? So did you go through a similar transition with your agency? Did you have outsourcing staff overseas to slowly bringing it to the UK?
I had one guy that was with me from when I hired him when I used to do sales. He's and he just learnt with me, stayed with me, and he just learnt Facebook ads. So he was my Facebook guy, still is to this day. But he also done copywriting. And then I used to have a few contractors on the outside, not out in overseas. A couple of them in the UK as well. And then my next hire that changed the business was a project manager, like an ops manager. And I just hit gold. I hit a girl, came out of uni, never had any experience at all, gave her a job, and I just started. Basically, I used to build all the landing pages, so I wanted to give her some of that work, and she got better than me within 6 months. I was like, what the fuck?
Perfect.
I was like, this girl's a G. All right, what else can she do? And then now she's my ops manager, like building out ClickUp, managing. She was doing ops and account management at the same time. She's a G. She's only 20 something, really young. So that was the next game changer. And then VA was another game changer, getting a VA that could do all the bitty things. But yeah, there was no rhyme or reason, mate. Literally, it was just trying to get the things off of me that I was holding up, because you end up then holding up the business growth. But I would also say to you, is you can scale different ways. You're doing aesthetics and dentists, yeah? I don't want 50 clients. That is my absolute nightmare.
How many do you work with currently?
15.
Are they all high ticket service charges?
Different, mixed bag.
Yeah.
Mixed bag, because you want to have clients at different levels. It depends how you want your business to run. But you've hit scale, but you probably haven't hit revenue that you want. So now it's how much leverage. If you took that same system and plugged it into a finance company, you'll get paid 10 times more.
And you'd need 70% less clients, right? Which is a dream.
And you would have less headache because they will be willing to spend the money. And they'll follow up the calls because they have a sales team. So I'm not telling you to change your model, but what I used to do is right, there's some shitters. In this 50, there's 10 shitters. They have to go. I don't care if they don't like us, pissed off, they've got to go because they're taking all my time. And then you need to start replacing some of those 10 with 1, 2 that you can charge more. Value your service more. So you get more leverage you get your time back. And then you just gradually start getting rid of shitters, adding better people on top, getting rid of shitters. And that's how I would say to do it. If you can't find a team to scale, then you might want to do it that way.
Find the clients.
Do dentists, do Invisalign, and do higher ticket, and then maybe do a hybrid where you get a base retainer and percentage of sale.
Sure.
There's other ways where you can
It's interesting, isn't it? Because our clients who are on the bigger service charges, and we're not like high ticket to the level what Matthew Wilson was talking about at the conference. We ain't got anyone paying 15, 20 grand a month service charges. We've got a couple that pay 2.5, 3K.
Yeah.
No ag. And they get good results. They're easier to get results for as well. It's the clients who have less than £1,000 a month ad spend who might be turning over, say, 10K a month. It's hard work.
Yeah.
It's tough, man. It's very hard.
That's a good bit of advice, though, definitely.
So, performance, man. That's like, I would rather have, my goal is to get 20 performance clients and then just give all the rest of my shit away for free. Like Alex Hormozy, just 20 performance clients. I've got 3 at the moment, but those 3 clients, like on a good month, might be like 100K. I literally pay my ads guy less than $1,000, and leverage. That's how much leverage it might bring because I built the whole system.
What, 100K for how many did you say?
For a month.
For what you're currently doing?
I'm saying, like, sometimes my performance clients, if they hit their revenue goals, we might get kickback and it might come to like 100K worth of kickback. Whereas before, when I had gyms, everyone would be on 750 to £1,000 and I had 34, and I literally would hate my existence. Yeah. Because they just string you off.
That's similar to where we're at, like, just for transparency.
So just like, get rid of your shitters, get the shitters out, man. Get the time wasters out. You're gonna just let them go. Just let them go. And then be brave enough to go, right, what do those ones that are 2K or whatever and they're cool? Like, well, what else could we leverage on top? Look at ways to go up.
Yeah, for sure.
That's you're doing that already, Joe, aren't you? Really, with like you're hitting the high profile stuff. I think like speaking to Steve as well. That's what I'm noticing doing, like qualifying the leads, like asking them. So they come with one inquiry. My objection to Steve when he was saying this to me, he was like, I was like, yeah, but what if that one person is just booking that seat that time, like just one seat from London to Paris, but that's just for their little business trip, but they then spend 100K a year or 200K a year on holidays. So he was just like, you just have to qualify.
Your service is very good, by the way.
Thank you.
No, honestly, next level. Yeah. Genuinely, man. Like, booking shit for you is next level experience.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Genuinely. Yeah. More people need to know about it. Honestly, I was like, you've done my stag do with Greeny and that. Yeah. Booked my honeymoon. Like, it's top notch, man. Really good.
It's easy, and you can always contact someone. Like that's
what most people want.
Yeah. It's, you know, and that's we're aiming now towards the higher ticket stuff. So I think we're still trying to sieve out. But again, I think it's pre-qualifying because those leads as well could lead to something else or something bigger. I think it's just having the conversation.
Pound to ag ratio, lads. You know about the pound to ag ratio?
I've got an idea. Can you explain
Tell me more. Tell me more.
Pound to ag ratio. How much you getting paid versus how much ag is it going to give you? And if you're not getting paid enough but getting loads of ag, that is on the wrong end of the scale. And the only time you want to get ag is when you're willing to take the money for it and you choose to get paid. Right, this guy is going to be a nightmare. So I'm going to whack a figure on the end of it, knowing that he's going to be a nightmare, but I know that I'm getting into it because of that. But you've been paid enough that you're happy. The moment you pull your own pants down, charge little, and they give you ag, it's a recipe for disaster. You literally hate it.
Yeah, no, that's literally.
That's a great soundbite right there. You know, I was thinking that is
literally. So pound to ag ratio. If those little tickets are fine and they don't give you no ag, then fine. Yeah. But if they give you ag, especially with all the flight changes and all this shit going on,
this is the problem. Yeah, it's the
aftercare
that comes with it.
Yeah, sack that off. It might not be worth your time. Yeah. But another thing is, like, you do these luxuries. If you've done that right, like, I would just go and find. You don't even have to make it real. Bookings. Go and find a really overpriced thing, and then do like, this is how we save 10 grand on a flight to da-da-da. Yeah. You could eat. That is such good content. I'd watch those all day long.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
I need to do that, really. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I need a mentor. Come on, when are you designing this course?
I'm not doing the course, man.
Jake's already sold, man.
I'm sold. Like, yeah.
I told you we buy anything. I'll probably sign up as well.
Buy stuff that don't even exist.
You do all the time. It's actually not that hard. Literally, all you guys think, what do my clients always ask me? Because there must be common questions.
Yeah, mine again.
I feel
like you're right. That's literally leverage with time and employment and stuff. And I've just had one of the top sales girl leave. Like, she's gone now, so now I'm back on the phones a lot more. So yeah, I feel like leveraging.
But the level of service you lot give on that type of, that's fair play, man. Like, it's good. It's good, man.
Yeah.
Danny, thanks so much for coming through. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you on a podcast. Some real gems, some great knowledge. I know this is going to be an amazing episode to listen back to. So if you want to follow Danny on social media, it's Danny Allen Page on the IG, and be sure to like, follow and subscribe to our podcast channel, The Multipliers Club. Link in the bio.
Cheers, lads.
Speak soon.
Thanks for having me, man.
Thanks for coming on, mate.